Hello, hello. Welcome to BFF Beauty's YouTube channel. Sorry, I have kind of a crazy dog. She's just jumping all around. Coda, please lay down. Today, we're going to do Folklore Friday. And I thought since we're getting pretty close to Halloween, I was going to just look up what kind of folklore stuff kind of went on in Colorado during the Halloween season. Please stop. And I found something pretty interesting, which I thought was kind of cool for Halloween. Because what's one of the costumes that your kids like to dress up as during Halloween? Spider-Man, right? Spider-Man. Spider-Man, Batman, all of them. Well, I found that here in Colorado, we have our own Colorado Spider-Man. So I thought it'd be really cool to talk about our Colorado Spider-Man. Now, this is not your typical Spider-Man that that good old Stan Lee came up with, where he's climbing building and he's fighting crime, and you can imagine him in downtown Denver just swinging from one building to the next and beating up the bad guys. No. That is not how this Spider-Man rolls. So let's talk about how this all began. I already mentioned it's something that happened in October, so we're talking October 1941. There was this old man by the name of Peter Phillips that was found beaten by his neighbors because he had missed a dinner party. They came looking for him, and they found him beaten in his home. And the beating was so bad there was blood spatter from room to room on every ceiling. So that's a pretty bad beating. And there were no leads. Everybody loved this guy. He did not have any enemies. He was fairly old, so he'd been around for a while, and everybody knew him, and he was a pretty kind gentleman. He had a wife who was not home at the time because she was being taken care of in the hospital. So the poor man was home all alone that October, and this had gone on. So neighbors come in, they find him, the police come in, they're looking all around. There are absolutely no leads whatsoever. So time goes on, and his wife apparently still needed to be taken care of, and probably wasn't staying in the home anymore because she was, had medical needs and could have been with other family. I just know that the home was had a housekeeper and needed to be taken care of by outside people. So I don't know if the wife was there, staying there, and just in bed and having people come take care of her, or what the situation was. But I know that there was a housekeeper in July of poke myself in the face. In July of 1942. She'd been hearing noises in the house for weeks. So it's somebody that was there daily, but she'd been hearing noises in the house for weeks. And she was just doing her stuff, going about her business, just cleaning and dusting and doing what you're supposed to do as a housekeeper, making sure everything's just neat and tidy for Mrs. Phillips. It's important that she has a nice home, and can live comfortably, because she can't do the stuff for herself. She needed help. All right, so then she's hearing these noises going on for weeks. They're happening, and she has no idea where they're coming from, what's going on. She's like, I think we have some critters in our home or something of that nature. And then one day, she hears the noises, and she happens to see this hall doorway come open, and this very thin, white, ghostly hand reaching through it. So she freaks out, she contacts the authorities. They come in, they find absolutely nothing nowhere. But at this point, they have this unsolved murder of the guy that used to live there. And now the housekeeper is saying she's seen something inside the home. So they're just going to keep an eye on the place. At this point, I don't believe anybody was in the home, because the police were just freely coming in and doing walkthroughs of the home, daily or something of that nature, checking on it. So one of their walkthroughs, this police officer was like hearing noises himself, so he was trying to follow where the noises were coming from, and that's when he saw kind of an open hallway door, and he followed the noises through the door and saw this dangling pair of legs dangling through this small crawl space to the attic. So they were pulling up into the attic. So he grabbed the legs and then pulled down the person that was attached to those legs. Which he described as the strangest looking human he had ever seen. A very thin, skeleton thin man with very grayish colored skin that reminded him of spiders' coloring. Turns out this man was 59-year-old Theodore Conies, and he had apparently met the Phillips when he was a little boy and knew them, but since had fallen on hard times and peril and was homeless and living on the streets of Denver in 1941. When it started to get cold there in October, he then took to an unlocked crawl space in the Phillips home and began staying in this crawl space, which was 27 inches high and 57 inches wide. So not very big. And the man he lived up in there for over a year before they found him. And then he tells the story that Mr. Phillips came in and caught him in his kitchen that night in October of 1941, and he had bludgeoned him to death. Pretty sad scenario. So that is the story of the Colorado Spider-Man. So apparently they call him a Spider-Man because of the color of his skin and the fact that he lived up in the attic and in the crawl space for all that time, like a spider, just kind of hiding away and then sneaking out at night and getting some food. And so how sad is that? That is the story of the Colorado Spider-Man. If you guys have any stories that you want to share with us here at BFF Beauty Folklore Friday, I would sure love to hear from you and share those stories here, do some research, figure out what all is going on. So I'm also going to share one other brief story for our Halloween edition of Folklore Friday-ish. Okay? It's called The Red Lady of Red Rocks. So apparently this folklore is, and I have no names because it's just The Red Lady of Red Rocks. Apparently there was a woman who had a couple of daughters who lived out toward the Garden of the Gods, out toward Red Rocks area. And she fought very hard for her daughters to stay virtuous. I'm not sure what happened to their father. I don't think the father was around. I think the mother was just like trying to keep her daughters virtuous and not have to like apparently there was some rumors going around that she was some kind of a witch or something like that. So her daughters were very beautiful. Gentlemen callers would come calling, and one of the daughters started sneaking around with a man who would sneak on the property to see her. And the mom found out about this, and she chased the boy off. She apparently beheaded him, chased him off. And then his family came and took justice into their own hands and killed the woman in red for murdering her son for calling on her daughter. So the woman is apparently still out at Red Rocks, chasing off suitors from their property from her daughters. So I don't know if you guys have been out there and seen anything. I think pretty much everybody that goes out there at night and is out there at night is there for a concert and all kinds of loud stuff going on. You probably wouldn't notice if anything crazy was going on, but can you imagine how crazy she must feel? All those drunk men and all the things that go on at the concerts. So those were two pretty short Folklore Friday topics that I couldn't really make a whole video out of for just one topic, so I thought it'd be cool just to throw those two in together and see what you all thought about them. So join us here, BFF Beauty channel. You can also find us on Facebook, where we have wonderful games and prizes. Sometimes we do What Is It Wednesdays. And I really think that we're going to need to do a What Is It Wednesday for Halloween. So look for that. That's going to be coming up here shortly too. We'll keep you guys updated. And also, keep touching base with us for those bulk order Wednesdays. I'd really love to get you guys some savings right here before the holidays. We're going to have some gift bags and boxes coming up. Just a whole bunch of goodies. So look for us on Facebook, BFF Beauty, and on YouTube, Tara and Katina, BFF Beauty channel. Like, comment, share, subscribe. We'll see you all soon. Have a wonderful day.